So 911 felt like an episode of 911 this week, and that has left me feeling confused and suspicious. Because in light of recent events on this show, I was under the impression that we couldn't have nice things anymore, right? So I was completely shook to my core when we had like an absolutely mind boggling amount of character combinations in this episode, of character development, of consequences of our actions, of emotional processing, and a silly, goofy emergency? Interesting. So it is possible. Snide remarks aside, I'm actually genuinely impressed by the pacing of this episode in a way that has me feeling like, am I being punked right now? Because I thought, based off the last few episodes, that the 911 we know and love is in the past. Like, I truly thought that, like, this is their new format. They're writing it differently. They're producing it differently. It's never going to be the same show that we all fell in love with. This is a new and different show, one that I am still deciding if I like or not. And I was ready to quit after the end of season 8. But if they keep this up moving forward, even though they've done something absolutely unforgivable to me, killing Bobby Nash, I think that was a stupid and poor decision. If they can continue to write their ensemble like this, I'm unfortunately sad. I am. Like, I didn't come to this show for one character. I didn't stick with this show for one character, rather. I love the ensemble, the found family. And when 911 focuses on the found family aspect of this show, that's what makes it shine. That is what we love to see. That's what we come back for every week. We don't come back for freaking fire-breathing, methane, breath, whatever the fuck was going on. Like, that's not why we're watching. Come on. The confession booth scene? Fellow Supernatural fans, you know what I was thinking about. Add it to the lineup, I guess. Oliver Stark, Slade. That was so good. I'm so glad we got more of Buck's mental state. We needed it. There was not enough of it in the last episode. I'm glad they focused on it in this one. Good Lord. And it was hard. It was hard to watch. I'm not going to lie. The like flashback with Bobby, with all of them together as a family, so happy. And then the cut back to the empty table. Nope. I'm not okay about the Bobby thing. I'm not good with it. I'm not good with it. I'm glad we're touching on it. We really need to address it. Okay. I actually burst into tears when Karen gave Athena the family photo and was like, I don't tell people that those are her coworkers. That's our family, or whatever she said. Okay, I guess. Like, right. Okay, yeah. Just start a cry counter for this episode, I suppose, because confession scene, family photo, and then, oh my God, the kitchen scene. Let's get into it. We're all in agreement, right, that kitchen scene between Buck and Eddie was a whole separate film in its entirety. Like, they shot it differently, they lit it differently, it's edited differently, acting popped off. Like, that was intense. That's gotta be a top 3 buddy scene of all time. And it was really interesting to see them in a different dynamic, or at least a dynamic we haven't really seen in a long time. Obviously, they've bickered and fought before, but not like this. This was different, and it's not, I wouldn't even really call it fighting, because these two characters are going through an extremely devastating situation, and both of them are coming from very different points of view and life experience, and neither are in the right and neither are in the wrong. It's very murky, and I thought they did a great job of portraying how awful it feels when two people who love each other very much, platonically or romantically, it doesn't matter. You can be best friends, you can be family members, you can be romantically involved. That's not relevant in this scenario. But two people who love and care about each other very much, who are normally each other's emotional support system, when both parties are going through something simultaneously and are not able to fully be there for the other person, who they normally rely on for things like this, what do? It leaves this really awkward chasm between people, because you love and care for this person, but you cannot show up for them in the way they need you to, and you feel bad about it. It's like, I thought they did a great job at portraying that, and especially how two men would deal with that scenario. Like, and especially these two men with their particular set of personality traits, circumstances, life experience. I thought it was well written. And I thought it was messy in the way it needed to be messy. And I was not shocked or surprised at all with the way either of them acted. I'm confused by the people saying that Eddie is abusive. It's screaming racism. So let's not do that. Because he's done the shoulder grab and point multiple times throughout this show, and that's not abuse. So let's relax a little bit, okay? I truly see the shoulder move as a grounding thing he does. He does it with Buck multiple times throughout the course of the show. And like, he's mad. And right, like, from both of their point of views, it makes sense. Like, look, Buck is going through a devastating loss, a type of loss that he has not experienced yet before in his young life, of someone who he considered a father figure. Okay? That's a huge deal. And he was also there when it happened and feels guilty and tried to save him but couldn't. There is a lot going on with Buck. And so it makes sense, given those circumstances, that he would fold inward a bit. And yeah, it sucks that he didn't ask Eddie how he was doing or check in on him in a way that Eddie needed. But it kind of makes sense. And vice versa, it makes sense that Eddie would be experiencing this on an extremely deeply triggering level because he has lost people before. He's lost his ex-wife. He lost his, army, what are they called? Friends? His army people. Sorry, I forgot the term for it. But like, he has gone through substantial loss in the form of death before, which is very triggering. And he has his son to consider and protect. And Bobby also mattered to him in different ways than he mattered to Buck. It doesn't make it any better or worse, it's just different. And normally Buck is his support system. But Buck is not available for that right now. And so it hurts. And it made him mad, and I get it. And it's kind of aggravating when, from that point of view, that person is like, not really getting what you're saying and making these assumptions and like making these like assumptive statements, like several of the things Buck said. So like, it was messy and complicated, and I really liked how they did it. It felt in character. I thought it was well acted, and very different from what we've seen in a long time from the two of them. And I think it's an important step in their dynamic. People are like, this is a toxic relationship, blah, blah, blah. Y'all, it's television. There has to be some level of conflict. If these people were perfectly emotionally regulated and treating each other with love and kindness 24/7 and never did or said anything wrong, it would be really boring TV, I promise. And nobody's perfect, okay? Nobody's perfect. And certainly not these two characters. They, at the end of the day, care about each other very much and are going through something awful and are going to have to navigate this together. It's implied that they're living together right now, I mean, temporarily, but like, Eddie is staying there with him. So I guess we're getting buddy roommates. It's off screen, but it's happening. So they don't hate each other, that's for sure. Quite the opposite. I think everything significant between the two of them happens in a kitchen, apparently, in this show. And this is just another thing to add to the growing list of evidence that they are headed towards buddy canon, in my opinion. I think they're still doing it. I still have hope. Call me crazy. Full on started crying when Christopher was brought back. The reunion between Buck and Christopher. Everything to me. Everything to me. Tia Peppa, that whole scene, beautiful, incredible. Love to see it. I mean, so many moments I could dissect and pick apart and enjoy from this episode. Finally, some good fucking food. If they play their cards right, I might actually watch season 9, which was not the case a week ago. So I'm just as surprised as you are. I still think the whole Bobby thing is, again, unforgivable. But if they do everything else right, I might stick around.